Howdy folks, Eric here, back with another standard brew. Excited to get into this one today. Bant Value-Wagon. This is a fair lumbering world wagon list. No might form harmonizer here. The idea being that we can very efficiently get our wagon online, utilize it with our warp creatures like a Stelly Reclaimer and Quantum Riddler, and basically slow down the game, control the game with our board wipes and removal in order to set us up into a position where we just kind of outgrind the opponent. Take a look at the description for a link to the deck list if you'd like. There's also a breakdown of my overall match win record and some thoughts on the list as per usual. Just wanted to get out there in case you're new to the channel. I always put some info in the description as well. Playset of Town Greeter here to help support hitting our third land drop consistently, and also this Stelly Reclaimer, being able to go like turn 2 Town Greeter into turn 3 Warp a Reclaimer, reanimate a World Wagon, getting big value that way, or reanimate an Ajani with the Reclaimer. Playset of Esper Origins here for the same idea. Esper Origins is also a nice way to set up our Reclaimer that can crew the World Wagon later in the game. A big deal that we got from the TMNT set, I think, is this Dimensional Exile card. Ossification, basically, that doesn't hit Planeswalkers. Enters, exiles a creature an opponent controls, enchant basic land. We have a pretty high basic count that we're supporting with not only the wagon, but a playset of Fabled Passages to be able to consistently use this card. And it's a big deal, I think, because we can go like turn 2 removal, turn 3, play a wagon or play an Ajani or warp a Reclaimer, etc., etc. 24 lands today, relatively light, 3 Restless Prairies. I think it'll be fine with the help of Town Greeter and Wagon to help open up our mana for the late game plays. As far as our sideboard goes, playset of Voice of Victory, few Soul Guide Lanterns here, not Rest in Peace because we have some self-graveyard reliance. I mean, Rest in Peace absolutely shuts down Esper Origins, so I think that's a non-starter. But also you can like exile with Soul Guide Lantern, use the Stelly Reclaimer to bring it back if you need to consistently be exiling your opponent's graveyard. I think that's pretty good. 1 Star Cage in the main, 1 in the side for go wide matchups. Couple of nulls, couple flash freezes. Relatively light blue splash here. As far as blue goes, it's the Riddlers in the main and some interaction in the sideboard, and then a few Get Losts for our instant speed removal. Kind of hard to settle on a full 15 cards for the sideboard. A lot of options here in these colors, right? But the idea here, just grind. Use a Johnny as removal early, reanimate it with a Stelly. Eventually support a Johnny's like Flood of Tokens with Restless Prairie Swings. Yeah, it should be fun today. I'm excited to get into this one. Let's check it out on the ladder. Aw, shit. Here we go again. Shahar Shenhar. Back to pissing my cornflakes. Oh, no. Okay. All right, Shahar. He always catches me when I'm playing, like, the Spice. Not that I'm ever not playing the Spice, but, it always feels like, okay, here's a real test, you know, stepping up to the big hoss here. Let's put back this hand. 1 lander, can't keep that. Warp in general, by the way, I'm sure most people realize the synergy here, but the reason to be on Wagon plus Riddler, you can like turn 3 Wagon, warp in a Riddler, crew it with the warped Riddler. Pretty nice. Definitely gonna keep this. Let's put back a Riddler here. We can go turn 2 Town Greeter, and then try to hit like something good off of the Stelly Reclaimer. Otherwise, we can just play a Wagon, I think. Should be okay. Turn 1 Llanowar Elves. Another Town Greeter. 4 Day of Judgments in the main. Hopefully that'll be helpful. I wonder if I've made it into any of his YouTube videos, because he also posts YouTube content. I'm not like, I don't care enough to go check, you know, but I would be curious to know. Not drinking a real beer, by the way. Coors Edge, 0%. Big fan. Not sponsored. But having fun with it. Excited to get into this one today. Starting off with a fun matchup. Let's go for the Town Greeter here. If we hit like a Pinnacle Star Cage in the graveyard, that could be pretty huge for us. Grab a Plains. Mill over in Esper Origins. That's not bad. He sees my Day of Judgment. Gives him a little info that way. Contemplating. I mean, I've got to assume this is just Simic or a Boroid. I'd be a little surprised to see him on a build like this. Could be wrong. Starting town. Let's go for the wagon here. No targets to reanimate. And then next turn we can Esper Origins and Seam Rip something. We already have double blue. Let's get another green source here. Double white, triple white. Pass it back to you. I wonder if he's on like Enduring Curiosity. Is that kind of crazy to consider? It's certainly a possibility here. Weird to just kind of pass. I doubt he would keep a hand that's just 2 elves and nothing else. Maybe he's going for, okay, Gene Pollinator. Hushwood Verge. Bright Glass Gear Hulk? He's got to be on the Gear Hulk. Let's go for Esper Origins. Help set up our Esteli Reclaimer and then enable our wagon swing here. There's an Ajani. I guess, okay, because I want to draw the Day of Judgment, right? Let's just leave the Ajani on top here. We'll draw the Ajani. Our next draw will be a Day of Judgment. Pretty huge for us here, I think. Is there any reason to Seam Rip an Elves here? Probably not. Currently has access to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. I'm not going to find a land off of this wagon. He decides to bounce it. That's fine. No attacks here. Let's just pass. It's hard to imagine a scenario. I mean, I guess if he goes like Badgermole Cub right now, into Nature's Rhythm or Crater Hoof, but he has to tap all of his guys to do that, I think. So next turn, let's go either wagon or a Johnny, and then swing with the Esper Origins, and then Day of Judgment. It's nice that our 3-drop like proactive things survive our Day of Judgment, right? Is kind of the idea here. Reveals on Nature's Rhythm on top, decides not to put it in the graveyard. Interesting. I wonder if it's like another. I wonder if it's like 2 Nature's Rhythms in a row. Melt Strider's Resolve to fight my Esper Origin. Has to be a Gear Hulk deck. Fuck yeah. Let's fucking go. I might as well give up the Town Greeter here. Definitely just gonna wipe the board. I can't do much else on top of it, unfortunately. This is gonna make his Nature's Rhythm much worse. Let's go for the Town Greeter here. Guarantee we hit our land drop. Well, not quite a guarantee, I suppose. A lot of fodder for our Esteli Reclaimer. A lot of options here. I have yet to beat Shahar on video. I've come across him twice now. For those that don't know, 2013 world champion, maybe? I don't know. Makes arena videos now. I don't know what else he's up to. I don't really know anything about the guy other than he's Shahar Shenhar, you know. A lot of options here in the graveyard for the Reclaimer. Have to Seam Rip the Cub. That's step 1. Step 2, I think, is maybe like play a Johnny and blow up the forest. This reduces his material for future Cub plays. And then just get our wagon on the field. We have infinite mana, basically. I guess if they want to go Cub and hit my Ajani, that's fine. Nah. Let's leave back the Town Greeter. A lot of options next turn with our Reclaimer. Probably just, like, warp the Reclaimer for super value, exile the... Or, get the dimensional exile on the field to clear up their board. I kind of feel like we can't lose from this position. Is it crazy to start saying that? I think we're just way too ahead on material, and we have a lot of card advantage here in our future. Warp the Reclaimer. I think I might just fire up this Restless Prairie. Doesn't super matter what I do with this. Just gonna do that. Fire up the Prairie. Start trying to kill him. Come on. I want this so bad. Put him to 2. I want this so bad. I don't know. I don't think there's anything you can do. Removal in hand. Pretty nice board for us. All right, scoops it up. We faded 1. Let's see if we can get him on the second game here. Bring in a Pinnacle Star Cage. Flash Freeze is pretty good, probably. Pretty good, probably. I don't know about Get Lost. I think we maybe have enough removal. Go down. Is he that likely to bring in Graveyard Hate? Maybe go down a couple Esper Origins and a Stelly Reclaimer here. Also could go down in a Johnny for, like, a Get Lost. Maybe do this. 2 Get Lost. Just play a ton of removal. Day of Judgment. We could go down a Wagon if we're anticipating maybe he's got, like, a lot of answers to Wagon. The first Soul Guide Lantern's kind of interesting. This is probably fine. I don't know. Run it like this. On the draw, Shahar mulligans to 6. Let's go ahead and keep this. Early Seam Rip. Good setup for our Wagon here. Couple Esper Origins. Moles to 5. Uh-oh. Is it time? Am I actually getting redemption here? Let's go. I swear I play against him all the time. Maybe like once or twice a month. It's funny that it's been happening on video a lot, though, lately. Last time it was on, or the first time was on Bant Robots, and then I think I ran into him. What was I playing the second time? Probably some bullshit. I don't remember. I don't remember. Day of Judgment. I don't think I want to Seam Rip this. I think I'd rather just wait and Seam Rip a Cub. Let's lead on a Fabled Passage here. We can choose what we want to fetch. Probably just an island, but we're not really in a rush to grab an island either. Doesn't super matter. Shocks in a Passage. There's the Cub. On the Sanctum. Choosing to swing in. Okay. Well, we have great answers to this. I think we can just afford to get an island here. Might as well shock this in. We're going to have to shock it in next turn anyway. Seam Rip the Cub. Only has access to 2 mana currently. If you're catching this video, by the way, I'm posting this Friday, March 13th, and I will be live today as well. So I'm posting this at 7, right, as per usual, but I'll be live at 2 p.m. Eastern, hopping into a traditional standard event, playing an undecided deck. I'm not certain on which deck I want to play quite yet. Let's go ahead and grab a forest. Day of Judgment him into Oblivion next turn, hopefully. Undecided on which deck I want to play. I have a poll up right now on my channel. It's between like Jund Deserts and Bright Glass Deserts currently, but it's pretty early in the poll, so I'll let the viewers decide here. And it should be fun. So if you're interested in stopping by, would love to have you. I'll probably be live for 2 to 3 hours or so. Play 1 or 2 traditional events, depending on how long it goes, and then just some ranked games on the ladder. Swinging in. Not representing Detect Intrusion at all. Hit him with the big Day of Judgment. And then next turn we get to go double up Esper Origins. Commits a Gene Pollinator here. Sorry, Shahar. You know I had to do it to him. Pass it back to you. Elves. Pass. Okay. Riddler. Riddler's nice. I think I'd rather just start deploying these Esper Origins, though. Riddler on top. I think I'm just going to leave it exactly like this, right? Is that crazy? I want to draw a Get Lost. Nice to have access to some removal. Is this a Detect Intrusion? Okay. That's not the end of the world. He needs to hit a land now to be able to cast this Riddler. Or a Boroid. That's fine. So we can warp this Riddler. We know we're drawing this Get Lost. We Get Lost the Ouroboros. Crew up the wagon, and then might as well play a land. Crew up the wagon, and then second main phase we can Esper Origins to set up our next draw. The real problem is he mulled to 5. That's just kind of what it boils down to at the end of the day. Just way too low on material here, I think, to fight against what we're doing. Day of Judgment on top. I mean, that is a great draw, generally. Let's just go ahead and leave that. Leyline Weaver. Yeah, just not going to be enough. Because we get to go, like, the way Wagon works in this list, it's really bad defensively, right? But it's great offensively if you can play a bunch of good defensive cards around it. And what are good defensive cards? Well, it's removal, but more importantly, it's board wipes. Just being able to, like, wipe the board and have our Wagon on the field through all of that is kind of nuts. Day of Judgment. Hit him with the Esper Origins. Kill him. And a nice little win against Shahar Shenhar. The overall record, put the counter on the screen. Editor, please. 1-2 overall against Shahar Shenhar, but 1-0 on this run. Excited to keep it going. Let's keep it rolling here. All right, match 2 on the play. Nice. Good opener here. We have our Town Greeter set up to hopefully like high roll into something relevant for our Reclaimer. Definitely not the best looking card if you have nothing going on in your graveyard, but we can play a slow enough game to eventually get value out of it, I think. Dream Beavers. Da-da-ba-da-ba-da through the night. Well, we milled a Dimensional Exile, which is nice. No land, unfortunately. Super Shredder. Seam Rip. Seam Rip is pretty nice. Let's just go ahead and clear their board here. Makes sense to me. The nice thing about Reclaimer with Ajani, too, is it's like Ajani's pretty fragile. If you -2 him, he goes to 1 loyalty, and he's just kind of, I don't know. He's pretty easy to pick off at that point. But Esteli Reclaimer, but he puts himself in the graveyard, essentially, right, is the idea. Let's go for the Esper Origins here. They could counter this. Oh, they scoop it up. Great. Yeah, okay, good. Remove your stuff, play big, dumb value creatures. That's kind of the idea here. Bring in the Voice of Victory. I think that's it. Do we want another Star Cage? We probably do want another Star Cage. Pretty unlikely that they have graveyard hate for us, but they could have spell snares, and spell snares pretty good into Esper Origins. Maybe we go down a couple Esper Origins, go down a Wagon. Not the best in this matchup, and I think we can cut a couple Day of Judgments. Although if they're kind of all in on the Super Shredder idea, maybe Day of Judgment's pretty good. Maybe we just ranch them, actually. I'm just looking at all of my cards, and I'm like, these are all great here. Go down a Reclaimer, go down a Day of Judgment. So basically, the fragility isn't necessarily a pro for a Johnny, right? But it's likely to die, meaning it's likely to just be that much easier to have fuel in our graveyard for a Stellar Reclaimer, is kind of all I'm getting at. Tiny Bones joins up, fine. Just get rid of a Fabled Passage here. Dimensional Exile, and we have our basic. Pretty easy to have our basics. We're on a decently high count, I think 10 total, along with Fabled Passages and Wagons. What does this guy do? Attacking ninjas you control have Death Touch. Whenever Dark Leo, and Shredder deal combat damage to a player, create a 1/1 ninja, and then flavor text. Let's just get this off the field. Could go for a voice, probably not that bad, but if there's anything Esper excels at, it's like removing cheap creatures, right? I think it's just better to control, like slow down their proactive thing. Wow. Okay. Stuck on lands. Let's jam the Wagon here, and then next turn we have. This is actually kind of sick. The way the mana kind of works out with everything here. We can go turn 3 Wagon, right? Hits a land, and then now we have enough mana to Town Greeter plus Warp and a Stellar Reclaimer, right? To get something back, hopefully. Opponent stuck on lands. Our hand looked pretty good. Don't feel too bad about that. A really fast 2-0 match start. Let's keep it rolling. On the play. Perfect hand. It's the perfect hand. Sound the alarm. It's the perfect hand. This deck is so sweet. It's so sweet. Grab a Plains here. We can get double blue later off the Wagon. But we need double white in case we draw like a Day of Judgment. I think I'm just gonna go for the Seam Rip here. Dimensional Exile could have a little more use later, being able to like exile a bigger creature, obviously. But the difference between like, even though it has less options, right? The difference between 2 and 3 mana is just so huge compared to, say, like Aang's Iceberg. Opens up a lot of nice double plays for us. Hit him with the Wagon. Grab another island. Saz's Chocobo. Esper Origins. Let's just go ahead and exile the Saz's Chocobo before it gets out of hand. Better to just like stay really proactive here, especially when we have so many good sources of card advantage at this point. Seam Rip. I guess I should have drawn first. Oh well. Grab a Plains. Feeling pretty good. Remove all of your stuff. Have these big dumb beaters. And once again, we get to be proactive. Running out the Riddler, warps, and if we draw a Day of Judgment and they commit here, right? We're kind of feeling fine. Let's go. We need to get this off the field, right? Let's go Esper Origins and then warp the Riddler, and that leaves us with enough mana 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to either. What is this card called? Either Dimensional Exile or. Not quite Day of Judgment, I suppose. I guess let's lead on the Esper Origins, see what we surveil into. A Stellar Reclaimer. No. We could also just play a Riddler and hold back blocks. That's actually probably better. Let's play the one from hand so we get the double draw. Pretty unlikely that they'll be able to do a big dumb trample attack here. Johnny actually does kill Mightform Harmonizer, which is nice. Sapling Nursery with a fetch. Game's getting a little scary now. Definitely a goof in retrospect, not drawing first off of that Riddler. Because if we had the Exile in hand, we would be in much better shape. Do we want to give up the Wagon or do we want to give up the Riddler? It's probably just the Wagon, right? Block here, and then we can Seam Rip the Tree Folk and start hitting them. Drawing a Johnny. Run out our stuff. Seam Rip a Tree Folk. Start hitting you. Not quite enough mana to a Johnny plus Esper Origins here. Maybe we could have if we went for the Esper Origins first and hit an untapped land. Opting to do this because it's going to start making some annoying blockers for them, I think. They decide not to crack their fetch here. Another Harmonizer. Llanowar Elves. Yeah, I wouldn't mind a Day of Judgment here. Draw 2, importantly. Let's lead on... How do we want to play this? They still don't have Trample. We can still put a lot of dumb little chumps out. We can warp our Reclaimer to get a Wagon back. I kind of feel like I want to lead on this Esper Origins, though. Get a little more info that way. Works nicely with the Johnny, too, with like a board of tokens. Well, there's a Day of Judgment. I think I like Day of Judgment. Hit our land drop here. Let's go ahead, Seam Rip a Tree Folk. And then we can reanimate a Wagon, but we don't have to find a basic. We can leave the Day of Judgment on top there. I think we can afford to swing in with the Riddler, keep the pressure up. They still don't have Trample. They're deciding maybe to chump this. Yeah, they can't double the power of the Tree Folk with the Mightform Harmonizer trigger, but one other neat trick you can do in this list, though, is like, I just read this in a Frank Karsten article the other day, I think. You can make a Tree Folk with the Sapling Nursery and put a counter on it with Earthbender Ascension, which is interesting. Go ahead and warp this Reclaimer. Let's not forget to activate a Johnny here. I think I want to draw that Day of Judgment. Just in case things get out of hand. Fabled Passage. Okay. Activates Bossing Say. Gets to do the thing. Swinging in. Let's just go ahead and chump here. We can always just kill the Harmonizer with a Johnny if we want. Kind of scared of the Sapling Nursery situation here, though. Big mana. Maybe we just try to set up into a big Alpha Strike with Esper Motto in here. We can go like cast the Town Greeter and just try to like set up a turn where we trample over everything with World Wagon. Next turn, I think we kill the Harmonizer. That seems pretty obvious, I think. They go for a crack here. I kind of think I'm winning this one, unless they slam an Ice Till Explorer next turn. I think I might just be able to trample over everything. Okay. I think I want to play... Do I have enough mana to play New Ajani, play Town Greeter, and play a Riddler? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 5, 5, yes. Okay. So then I'll refill my hand after that. Mill over another Esper Origins, take a Fabled Passage, play a Fabled Passage, play an Ajani. I've been kind of impressed by this Ajani the more I play him, to be honest with you. I don't know if others feel the same. He's a solid grindy card. Play new Riddler, draw a million cards. Try to set up a big Alpha Strike. Pass it back to ya. Set a stop in my upkeep, just to make sure that I crew the wagon with Esper Modwin. Activates Bossing Say. Yeah, I mean, if this is all they have, I kind of think we're doing okay. Our creatures are going to get a total of +3/+3. Meaning that they can't really block with the Tree Folk. I mean, they can, but it's not going to be enough, I think. I think we can go ahead and fetch. I don't know. I kind of have the time to do the math right now. So I kind of feel like I might as well. I'm going to be attacking with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 creatures. They'll all be getting +3 and trample. They'll have a total of fetch here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 4 toughness, 24. A million power on my end. I'm pretty sure we're doing fine. So we activate the Prairie. And we crew the wagon. Draw. Esper Origins. Move to the main. 2/2 and trample. Play another land. Do we have any good removal we can set up here? Let's go for... And they scoop it up. They kind of realize, okay. All right. I think so. And at the very least, they have to give up the sapling nursery. And I might not be dead on the backswing either. It'll be close. Close game. Very close game. Very a little thinky toward the end. We looked ahead most of the time, but they were kind of threatening to pull away had they drawn like an Ice Till, I think. Bring in the Flash Freezes. Bring in the Get Losts. Let's go down. Maybe cut an Ajani, cut a Starcage. Starcage, actually, late game could be kind of relevant to clear those big boards. But it's probably just better to try to manage the sapling nursery and then wipe the board with the Day of Judgment. Yeah, I don't know. There are going to be some boards where Starcage is decent. Maybe on the draw you could keep one. Go down a Riddler, go down a Reclaimer, go down a Wagon. They're not going to be interacting with our stuff that much, so I think it's better to be on more interaction and a little lighter on threats here. And I think we can afford to, like, just cast an Esper Origins on turn 2 a lot. So maybe we can afford to go down a Town Greeter in that case. Probably cut a land, honestly. Yeah, let's just cut a land instead. Try it like that. Pretty good hand. I'm kind of a Day of Judgment guy. I don't know when I became a Day of Judgment guy, but I think it was probably... You could match the timeline up to when Badgermole Cub entered the format. Right on cue here. And I just kind of said to myself, I don't like losing to this card. So henceforth, I'm going to be playing a million Day of Judgments anytime I'm in white. Bristly Bill. I think we're just going to go for a wagon next turn. Into a Day of Judgment, guaranteed. I could also put a Johnny on the field, which is kind of interesting. Chumps. Wagon guarantees that I hit my Day of Judgment here, though. We have double green. We don't need double blue quite yet. Let's just grab a white source. Probably doesn't super matter. Surak. Okay. Okay. I've been here before, and I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good. Grabs a forest. Big board, but Day of Judgment? Get you with the Day of Judgment? Dimensional Exile. Whee! I've solved World Wagon, guys. You just play it on turn 3, and then you wipe their board. Sapling Nursery, huh? Now that's going to be a bit of a problem. Let's go for the Town Greeter. I tapped wrong. Okay. We'll just play the wagon instead. I meant to get the Ajani on the field. Go for another wagon here. Might as well grab a blue source, I suppose. Although, grabbing a white lets me go Day of Judgment and Ajani next turn. Earthbender Ascension. Yeah? I gotta find an answer to the Sapling Nursery. Decides not to swing. Another Ajani. They want to block with the forest here. Let's go Town Greeter into Esteli, or into Esper Origins, I think. Just try to start hitting them. Temple Garden. Esper Origins. Start hitting them. They'll be able to block. We'll keep a Flood Farm Verge on top. That's fine. They'll be able to block, but I am kind of, at the same time, threatening, like, super lethal in the future. Maybe I don't attack. Maybe I just wait for the Esper Motto to pop and do the same thing as last time. Just try to do one big dumb trampling Alpha Strike. Because if I attack and they double block, I get to kill both their stuff, but they get another... both of their things, but they get another Tree Folk out of the deal. Otherwise, they just chump, have 2 Tree Folk. And I'm starting to lose that race. On the other hand, this opens up my mana to make a stronger future Alpha Strike. Go like that. We have chumps. More basics on the field. More lands is more gooder. They double block. I think this is fine. I think this is fine. It makes sense. We only really need one wagon to do our thing anyway. This gets a wagon in the graveyard for a Esteli Reclaimer. Mossborn Hydra. I just get to Day of Judgment this, right? I guess I could just Dimensional Exile, and it keeps my Esper Origins alive. That's probably better. That's probably better. Let's go like this. Little Dimensional Exile action. It's the new hotness. All the people are saying this. Exile your Hydra. Go for an Ajani here. Make a guy. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's fire up the Restless Prairie. And then crew with those so that we can leave back Crew with the Prairie, crew with the Kithkin, so we can leave back Esper Motto into block if we really need to. Has something in hand. Origin of Metal Bending. Fine. But I still have a pretty big Alpha Strike next turn. All things considered. It's not game ending, but it's not bad. Badgermole Cub. Makes my Day of Judgment a little worse. They'll get a retrigger off of their Sapling Nursery. Do we fire up the Restless Prairie? I think so. If we wipe the board and Restless Prairie dies, I think that's okay. Pinnacle Starcage. I know I can decide after I draw. That's probably one thing I should be doing. I just don't like the arena system, and I've been burned too many times by like it skips over the Esper Origins trigger. I know you can hold priority and stuff. I've been burned too many times. Let's just leave it at that. Play a Flood Farm Verge. Pinnacle Starcage is interesting. I'm just gonna swing. Big trampoline board. Double blocks a Town Greeter. Okay. Decides not to. Double blocks the Town Greeter. Okay. Decides not to. Double blocks Restless Prairie. That makes a little more sense. Try to kill off the tree folk here, I guess. Doesn't really matter. They don't block with the forest. That's weird, right? Anyone else find that kind of weird? I guess we just stay the line then. What is this? Archdruid's Charm? Paw Patch Formation. Destroying. Oh, get back your Mossborn Hydra. Okay. Land. Bossing Say. Not the worst land for them here. Still, I don't think they're going to appreciate the Day of Judgment. Day of Judgment, and we get to... Yeah, Day of Judgment is kind of sick here, right? Do we care about this? Yeah, I think so. Keep a Johnny alive. We have backup a Johnny in hand. Dimensional Exile. Well, I might as well swing out, because I'm going to Day of Judgment. And they actually didn't leave up mana to give their Tree Folk indestructible, which I guess they wouldn't in the first place, right? They wouldn't. I mean, why give up the Sapling Nursery here, right? Retriggered the Earthbend. Make another guy. Make another Kithkin. Let's just pass like this. If they want to go all in on a Johnny here, that's okay. Draws an Ice Till Explorer? Ugh. Okay. Oh, and they have Trample. Maybe I need better answers to their enchantments. We're kind of in prime position to just like draw a Quantum Riddler though and be in a pretty good spot. Going crazy with the Fabled Passage. Kills a Johnny. Okay. No blocks. I'm going to go for the Dimensional Exile first here. Draw a land. Go for this first. Exile the Ice Till. See if they crack the Fabled Passage in response. I doubt they will. Get this out of my life. I'm not gonna swing. I'm not that rude. They're obviously gonna block. Go for a Pinnacle Starcage here. Eat up your Tree Folk. We get in a Johnny. And it's not that good. Probably. All things considered, their enchantments look a little better. They are at 6. Prime position to draw a Riddler. Any day now. Mossborn Hydra. Bossing Say on the Fabled Passage. Makes sense. Passes. World Wagon. Okay. So they can make the Hydra 1, 2, fired up again, 3, 4, 2, 4, 8, 16. Yeah, I'm just dead. I'm just dead. All right, well, we put up a pretty good fight. On the play for game 3, let's reconsider some options here. I don't love Pinnacle Starcage on the play, probably. Let's bring in the Wagons, bring in a Riddler again, get a little more proactive with it. Maybe go down a Seam Rip, go up a land, go down in a Johnny, go down in Esper Origins. The Esper Origins Wagon idea looked pretty good consistently. Yeah, one of Johnny's probably fine. I don't know. I don't know how impactful it is in this matchup. It's not the kind of matchup where it's like, okay, now we're both top decking, right? And I have the Ajani on the field, so can you do it? Can you do anything? It's like they're gonna be top decking some fucking gas, you know what I mean? It's more about I think going for the kill with like a wagon or whatnot. This hand's really good if we draw third land. I like that it has the flash freeze. It's a little risky, but I'm going to keep it. Llanowar Elves. Let's just go ahead and exile the elves here. Little risky, but I'm going to keep it. We draw our third land. Never punished. I think this is worth it. On the other hand, I could just flash freeze. Yeah, maybe it's not worth it. Let's just try to play into flash freeze and Earthbender Ascension. Saz's Chocobo. That's fine. We have the Day of Judgment here. Land. Badgermal Cub. Off to the races. They can't get a sapling nursery on the field. Let's just get the wagon going. And then next turn we can Day of Judgment. I think that'll be okay. Might as well grab a white source. We're pretty much always going to warp the Riddler the first time anyway, I think. Fabled Passage. Only one forest on the field currently. 2 forests. But quite a lot of mana at the same time. Ice Till. Okay. Well, Day of Judgment looks good, at the very least. Backup Day of Judgment looks pretty good. It's all about whether or not we can manage to snag a sapling nursery with a flash freeze. That kind of makes or breaks this matchup, I think. They could also have Origin of Metal Bending here to give something indestructible. It appears they do not. Play a land. And then next turn, we either doge. Okay, this is good for us. If all they're doing is firing up the Bossing Say, we are at 11, going to 9, which is kind of not that much life. It's not that much life. Another wagon. Do we go wagon or do we go Esper Origins here? I think we go wagon, hold up the flash freeze, and then next turn we can kind of decide what we want to do. Grab another island. Kind of a tricky spot. Bossing Say, yeah, pretty good against us. Keeps up the pain. Go to 5. We do have to answer this. Llanowar Elves. Fine. Land drop. So we go Dimensional Exile, Esper Origins, hold up Flash Freeze, and we're not dead. And then next turn we can Esper Origins completely. right? Lead on the Esper Origins. A Stelly Reclaimer. It's not that good yet. Let's skip on it here. I'd rather see like a Riddler, I think. Maybe I'm supposed to just jam this Esper Origins. No, I'm kind of in too deep now. I think I do have to exile the Promising Vein. I mean, it'll come back, right? But it's more so just about resetting the stats here. And I don't really think I want to not hold up Flash Freeze. Seems too risky. Sacrifices the Promising Vein raw. What does this mean? Surek can't be countered. We have a Day of Judgment. Town Greeter. So we go Day of Judgment into Town Greeter and hope we hit an untapped land. Is that too risky? They only have one card in hand, right? It's fine. It's fine, he says moments before disaster. No. Okay, well, if they sapling nursery me, it's my that's my karma, I suppose. I had the opportunity. Yeah, this is not great either. This is not great either. Okay, well, at least they're showing me everything. Fires up the Bossing Say. We get a nice little chumper here. We're kind of chilling. Flood Farm Verge. There's the land. Go for the Esper Origins. Leave up double white in case we hit a Johnny. Double land. Skip. Ooh. Okay. That's not bad. I think it makes sense to me to reset their Fabled Passage here. And then we just hold up this Flash Freeze. And then next turn we get to fire up the... Actually, maybe we just... They kind of have to leave back blocks, right? I'm going to exile this sooner or later. You know what I mean? Because if they leave back block... I don't know. They know I have this. They have to leave back blocks. Because I kill them next turn with Restless Prairie plus Wagon. So if I exile this now, they spend their whole turn firing up a Bossing Say just to feed it into the Wood Chipper. But I guess I have enough mana to make my decision later. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's enough to exile plus fire up this. Yeah, I guess we just pass here. They can't kill me. Not with the Flash Freeze in hand. Right? Oh. Wait, does this kill me? No. No. They can't attack me, importantly. It's up to them to realize that, I suppose. Grindy ass match. Grindy ass match. We might get there, though. At the very least, we get there on the following turn, almost guaranteed, with the trample. Earthbend's another thing. And that is the critical mistake. They have all the information to be able to realize that they just died to this. Oops. You know, what else can you say? What else can you say? Well, managed to pull it out. 3-0 against mono. Sealing the deal here. 3-0 overall. With the win against mono green landfall. They goofed. I don't know why they attacked. They could have survived another turn. 878. Keep it rolling here. Feeling pretty good. Match 4 on the draw. Got to mulligan this. Ooh, no green mana. A little risky. But if we hit another white source, we're feeling fine. Not too many blue sources in the deck. Yeah, let's send it. I think we skip on the Esper Origins here. It's risky. It's risky bisky. I don't like the idea of going down to 5. Although, it probably mulligans to 5 okay with the Riddlers in the deck, right? Another wagon. This is my punishment. Cross your fingers. Hit me with the spirit fingers while you're viewing this. Not live, but I'll appreciate it nonetheless. I will appreciate it nonetheless. Riddler. Okay. Get a little redraw going. Counters it. Fine. Could be Jeskai control. I actually think with all of the removal we have in the main, we don't have a great like game 1 matchup probably here, but our threats are pretty good into Jeskai control. Being on Ajani's and Wagons and Riddlers and all of these like value pieces, it's going to be pretty annoying for our opponent, I think. We land an Ajani. Still. Also, Voice of Victory in the side. I think we should have a decent matchup here. It's just we are quite like overloaded with removal in the main. Lessons from Life. Yo. Draw 3 cards, put a land from your hand on the battlefield tapped. Seems kind of sick. Seems kind of sick, actually. I'm excited to see what they're up to. Town Greeter. Laughing in my face. We just need 1 green source and we're off to the races. But maybe Ajani just carries the game for us. I don't think I don't think Ajani is like the strongest planeswalker in the world, but there's a relatively low presence of planeswalkers in general outside of like Kaito. And people just, I don't know. A lot of decks aren't that prepared to deal with planeswalkers, right? Like the Lessons deck doesn't have any main deck great answers to it. Songcrafter Mage. Ayy. Okay. Targeting Lightning Helix. Could be a good wagon window for us. Goes for a Helix. Taps out. Goes for a Helix on the Ajani here. That's fine. Bant, motherfucker. Surprise. Grab a forest. Pass it to you. Now we have the land situation figured out. It's just kind of a matter of, do we have what it takes to outgrind 4 or 5 color Songcrafter Mage control with Jeskai Revelations and all that? Fire Magic, fine. A little preemptive, perhaps. A little fast and loose with it. Go for a Town Greeter here. Opponent has nothing going on. This just straight up resolves. 3 Ajani's in the graveyard. 3 little kitties in my graveyard. What are they doing there? I don't know. Primed and ready to draw. Either draw a Riddler or Reclaimer or Esper Origins. Or mill over Esper Origins with the Town Greeter would be fine too. Getting beat down a little here. There's a Riddler. Do we care about trying to maximize the draw off the Riddler? I think that's fine. We can start with a Town Greeter at the very least. There's an Esper Origins. Hit a land. Play a land. Let's go ahead and go for the Dimensional Exile. I think I just want to warp this Riddler. Actually, might as well go for the Esper Origins here. Right? 4 mana, and then we can Riddler next turn. This is pretty bad into Jeskai Revelation, but what can you do? Make him have it. It resolves. Do we want to draw into the Fabled Passage? Nah. Let's high roll here a little bit. Fine. Fine, fine. Commence the beats. Fires up the Quarry Mountain Monastery. I feel like if you were going to do that, you should have done that in response to, I don't know, any of my previous plays. Hitcha. Grab a plains. Doesn't really matter at this point. And we're kind of set up here. The seam rip's probably going to rot in my hand, but we can take them out. Post board. Kind of feels like they have nothing going on, y'all. Time stop. Well, that's something. Okay. I feel like I'm in the lock now. You know, I was thinking about time stop the other day and remember that it is in fact in standard. End the turn, and they can flash it back with. Oh no. It exiles itself upon cast. Okay, that's great to know. I feel like that could be an easy angle to miss if you were playing this in paper for like the first time. Ending the turn, just straight up goes into exile. Interesting. Not entirely sure why that is. I don't have the full knowledge of that. I've never been a judge, nor have I aspired to be. I just use like Arena and MTGO to learn the rules for the most part. Like these rules that aren't really written on the card, you know what I mean? I have a vague idea why, but the specific ruling, you know what I mean? Feeling good though. If that's all they have, they go for a fire magic. Okay. Are they just dead next turn? Are they just like trying to scramble for any answer here? Because the thing about the World Wagon is they kind of have to let me swing with it at the very least. Otherwise, I just crew up another wagon. Or crew up the second wagon with the first one. Let's play a wagon. Empty our hand for the Riddler. Go for a big draw here. Also buffs our wagons. I think we can just warp. Big dumb value, guys. I've been wanting to make this deck for a long time. I never had the Riddlers, and I was like, all right, I gotta save up my wild cards, get those Riddlers going. I guess we go for the Esper Origins here, so I can just try to crew both the wagons and swing with an Esper motto in. Reveal an Esteli Reclaimer. This deck is sweet, man. It's so capital B Bant Midrange, you know? Or Control? I don't know. It's more of a mid-range deck, right? Inevitable Defeat. Fair enough. Inevitable Defeat. Fair enough. But they are dead to... Oh, no, they're not dead to this, because they just gained 1,000,000 life. Hit you with the island. Put you to 3. I might as well warp the Reclaimer, get a Johnny here. And then they're just dead to, like... They're dead to a lot of things next turn. If they wipe the board, we have, I was going to say we have a Restless Prairie, but it's not on the field yet. All right. The Warp Gang goes off into the Warp Zone. I kind of didn't expect that we would win this, but it looks like we have a pretty good chance of winning this. Northwind Avatar. What's that for? You got a combo tucked away in your sideboard there? Tapping out. I mean, what are you going to do with 1 mana? Come on. You're donezo, my friend. Big Trampling Wagons. Big Trampling Wagons, and they scoop it up. I was scared when they cast that first Songcrafter mage. Bring in the voices. Go down the seam rips. Go down the Dimensional Exiles, as many as we can afford to cut. Up the Soul Guide Lantern, and then probably want the Flash Freezes, to be honest. It counters the Cornucopias, counters Songcrafter Mage. Maybe one is fine. We'll go 2 because of the Pinnacle Star Cage. I think this is okay. What are the odds that they bring in like a Planeswalker from the sideboard and we're going to want the Get Losts? Oh, well, we don't want the Day of Judgments anyway. I mean, there's so many cards to cut, right? Yeah, something like this. Annul's kind of a dead card. Maybe the first Day of Judgment's better than the first Annul. Maybe 2 Day of Judgments over Flash Freeze? No. Run it like that. I mean, Voice of Victory's gonna put in a lot of work here, I think. All right, on the draw, pretty good hand. All of our colors this time, importantly. Maybe we get to do the cute Town Greeter turn 2 into a Stealthy Reclaimer turn 3. Reanimate a Wagon for insane value. Stomping Ground Plains. You 5-color players are crazy. You're a different breed. Keeping a Stomping Ground Plains hand in your damn counter magic deck. Turn 2 Town Greeter. I have a feeling I'm getting Lightning Helixed. No, maybe not. Come on, mill a wagon. Hey, we'll take, you know what? We'll take a Soul Guide Lantern. Not going to complain about that too much. At least it's a target, right? Thundering Falls. Maybe we just go for a Riddler here. I don't think it super matters. Let's hit them. See if they do anything. Yeah, I'm just going to go for the Reclaimer. Go for the Reclaimer. I mean, yeah, wait on the wait on the Lightning Helix, my friend. I do have to exile something. It doesn't really matter. 3 mana Soul Guide Lantern. But, I mean, kind of in a great position as far as, like, being able to actually cast our cards. 2 extra lands in hand, big value. There's an Ajani. Continue the beats. Go for the Ajani here. No reason to hold it, I think. No More Lies is a little rough into what we're doing. Ajani resolves, and they don't have the mana to, Inevitable Defeat. And rolling up to 4 means it dodges Lightning Helix. Maybe we're winning this one. I don't know. Kicks a Consult the Star Charts. Not the best Consult I've ever seen. What's the biggest Consult you've ever seen someone cast or cast yourself? I feel like 10 is relatively common. It doesn't happen too often, but it does, like a late game Control Mirror top deck Consult for 10. I wonder if anyone's done it for like 15, you know? Probably happened. But 15 is a lot of lands out of your deck. Flash Freeze. 2 mana available for my opponent. Continue to hit them. I'm just going to warp a Riddler here. It plays around. No More Lies. Get a little redraw. Continue the value train. And we get to hold up this Flash Freeze. Might as well play a second Lantern. Pass it back to you. Lightning Helix, the Dome. Okay. Oh, Flash Freeze also counters Jeskai Revelation. Fuck yeah. That is huge game. I mean, that is nasty work. Lessons from Life. I think I just want to try to counter this, right? I guess they could have a counter in hand too, but if they want to fight me over this, that means I get to resolve a Riddler. Back to me. Play land. I'm going to hit them first and then roll up a Johnny because they've demonstrated they're on fire magic. Do I jam the Riddler here? I think so. I think it's fine. They would have countered my counterspell, I think, if they had it. Draw a Reclaimer. Fire magic. Does not kill the Riddler. Feeling okay. We are kind of shields down against a Jeskai Revelation. Johnny's ticking up. I mean, if we do ult to Johnny, it probably means we get 1 or 2 wagons at the very least, and then probably a Voice of Victory as well. Season of Weaving. Draw a card ×3, and then choose an artifact or creature you control. Create it. Makes a copy of their Astral Cornucopia. Okay. Okay. Big mana. Big life, big mana. Mistrise Village. Okay, relevant. Let's go ahead and cycle one of these lanterns. Might as well. Quantum Riddler. Quantum Riddler. Doesn't really matter, huh? What's my absolute best like draw right now? It's probably just like a wagon. I think getting a wagon on the field would kind of change the dynamic of this game. Let's warp the first Riddler and then maybe just cast this Esteli Reclaimer. Bring back a Soul Guide Lantern at the very least. Not irrelevant. My life total is starting to dwindle a little bit. Starting to dwindle a little bit. Kind of putting me into, like, burnout range. Consult the star charts. Gains some life. 7 cards. Oh, they didn't kick it. Okay. They're digging. But what are they digging for? Another ancient Ancient Cornucopia. Gaining 1,000,000 life. But we do scale too, you know. We scale, so we're not that worried about the life gain. Doge. The one of Doge. A Johnny alting also replaces itself, which is kind of nice. I might as well roll it up right now before they can, like, interact with this with Jeskai Revelation. Move to combat. Surely they have to do something about this attack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Jeskai Rev. Imagine if we could counter this. Ooh, another fun tidbit from that Frank Karsten article, coming back to that. So Jeskai Revelation has 2 targets, right? If I had a second Get Lost here, I could Get Lost. I don't know that this is good, by the way. I just wanted to share the information. I could Get Lost both of my guys or any instant speed interaction here. Effectively taking off, removing all targets, right? So then the rest of the spell wouldn't resolve. The spell would fizzle. They would still, you know, my guys would be dead, unfortunately. But they wouldn't make monks, they wouldn't draw cards, they wouldn't gain life, etc., etc. Okay. Bounces a Johnny, kills the Esteli Reclaimer. They block with the monk. That's a little weird. That's a little weird. Let's get this Esper Origins going. Start to pad our life total a little bit. There's a wagon. I think I want a Johnny on the field again. Play a tapped Temple Garden, hold up this Get Lost. Pass it back to you. Hard to navigate these games at a certain point. Once we are both online, we both have a lot of resources, we both have enough mana to do basically anything we want, right? The question becomes, what eventually trumps what? Ulting a Johnny, or just like having a Johnny on the field is kind of a problem for the opponent. Getting a wagon on the field is kind of a problem for the opponent. Northwind Avatar once again. I suppose I try to just kill it. Him big. I wonder what they grab. Did they just grab another Northwind Avatar? Actually, I kind of wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. They just have 3 of them in their sideboard and 1 in the main. And it's just like, okay, you know, occasionally do that thing where it's like an endless value engine. One of. We've seen that in the past on certain decks. In certain decks. Just swing for 4 here. Try to get my wagon involved. Lightning Helix the face. Gains a lot of life. I can't say I love it. I wonder if they have like a big dumb spend X mana, burn you out kind of plan. Fireball, etc. No targets for the Reclaimer quite yet. See if we can set something up for it. I mean, Voice of Victory is obviously a really good draw. We can't cast it yet. So let's just take the land here. Draw into the Voice of Victory. Deny them a little information. Hit our land drop. Pass it back to ya. I don't think we need to warp the Riddler quite yet. Surely they've got some big dumb something here. They're going to activate the Mistrise Village. Okay. Space-time anomaly. Target player mills life equal, or mills cards equal to your life total. Yeah, that'll do it. I guess we scoop here. Keep them off of the information. Yeah. All right. Nice tech. I gotta respect it. I love it, in fact. Clearly Day of Judgment ain't it. Maybe the one and all to maybe snag an early. Cornucopia is fine. Run it back. I think we can win on the play. We just need we need an early Voice of Victory, early wagon, all of that stuff. I mean, keeping a big value hand is fine, but we're much better angled if we have turn 2 Voice, turn 3 wagon. You know what I mean? Cross our fingers. All right, on the play. Okay, it's not great, but we'll have time to cast these Esper Origins at least. We'll put back the Get Lost, keep all the lands, I think. Not great. Could be great, depending on our draws here. That ain't it. That ain't it. At least we dodged that little clump of lands. Voice of Victory, huge. Question is, do they have Spell Snare? Probably not. I'm not scared. Do they have the Helix? Okay, but that means we get to resolve this Esper Origins flashback, which is nice. Drawing a Stelly Reclaimer. See if we can set up the Reclaimer here. Sure, we'll draw another one. Why not? It's action. Soul Guide Lantern in the graveyard. That's fine. I got like a little eyelash or something up here. I keep trying to solve that problem. Fabled Passage. 2 mana available. Play a Fabled Passage here. Crack it. They could have a No More Lies, but I'm kind of contemplating like going for an Esper Origins first to set up a better target for my Reclaimer. Voice of Victory on top, that's nice. Hit you for 4. I'm just gonna commit a full Reclaimer here. If they want to counter it, that's fine. They do not counter it. We get back Soul Guide Lantern. Fine with me. Lightning Helix my face. Okay. Well, question is, do they have a board wipe here? That's going to be kind of a determining factor, I think. I guess really they only have to answer a Reclaimer. There's the Northwind Avatar. But their life total's not high enough, I think, for them to like go for the mill option at the very least. So I'm feeling kind of okay. We get to start beating in with our Angel. Angels versus Dragons. The tale as old as time. Cool list from our opponent. Some grindy matches. 2 very fast matches up front, and then 2 grindy matches following. Big Angel. Go for Esper Origins here. Try to set up the second Reclaimer. We'll take a Riddler. Pretty nice hit. We can always just cycle the Soul Guide Lantern too before doing the Reclaimer thing. Hitcha. Voice of Victory. All right, I gotta know what they grabbed this time. Do they have like some combo piece where they can just make copies of this over and over? I'm thinking like Molten Duplication. Is that the card name? That'd be kind of cool. Swings for 5. Has to have a board wipe here. Has to have a board wipe. Day of Judgment. Cool. Resolves. Back to me. Town Greeter. Go for that first. Esper Origins. Sure, we'll play the Esper Origins, I think. Or we could just cast a Riddler. Yeah, maybe we just cast a Riddler here. Draw some cards. Endless Value. We're riding the Value-Wagon now. Hop aboard. Choo-choo. Value-Wagon. We haven't seen Wagon that much in this match, but we've seen quite a lot of value. Lessons from life. Nice. They are definitely gaining life at a rapid pace. 3 Voice of Victory in our graveyard. Currently no Reclaimer targets, unfortunately. Becomes a little worse post-board in these kinds of matches, I suppose, because we like have so much most of our targets are removal. Or nearly half of our targets are removal, right? There's the Wagon. That's nice. Start swinging in. Songcrafter Mage. Okay. Targeting Day of Judgment. Okay. So I don't have to give up the Soul Guide Lantern, which is kind of nice. Get a Wagon on the field. Down to 1 basic in the deck. I think I'm going to go for the Esper Origins here over a Johnny. Although if they have another board wipe, that's a little worse. Yeah, maybe we go for the Ajani. Pass it back to you. I'm not pressuring their life total super well. It's actually a really interesting idea, right? The Astral Cornucopia keeps your life total quite high. Eventually, you just get to mill your opponent out. It's pretty cool. Block. I think I might just cycle the Soul Guide Lantern to draw 2 here. Especially if they're firing this off. They're not going to be able to do much with a Songcrafter Mage. Just cast a Lightning Helix, I guess. Draw 2. We really want to hit like a Flash Freeze, I think. Another Wagon. Play a land. Let's kill off the... Do we kill off the Songcrafter here? At the very least, I'm definitely doing this. You know what I mean? Might as well do this. Can I afford to mill myself more? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Next turn, they could have the Avatar and then mill me and kill me. Actually, yeah, I guess they can do that, right? They could just remove my Wagon and not take that much damage. Maybe I have to hit them with the Restless Prairie here, actually, to keep that possibility away. Do we have enough material to win the game if we just, like, accept these draws into our heart and not skip on them? Because I can hit them down to, assuming Prairie plus Riddler goes through, that's 8, put them to 23, but then they gain a little more life. I think I have to not. I think I just have to draw these, unfortunately. Fire up the Wagon. Cross our fingers that they don't have anything good here. Wagon gets to attack. Yeah, let's grab a land, I get. Aetherize. What? No. Well, might as well grab a land now. I'm just dead to the combo, as it were. Sweet list. Can't complain too much. Hit me. Come on, do it. Show me you're bold enough to be on 4 Northwind avatars. Season of Weaving. That's not Northwind Avatar. Aetherize, huh? Double Ancient Cornucopia. Quadruple Ancient Cornucopia. Digging for the Avatar, trying to seal the deal. We got to get Wagons on the field here and unleash them at rapid pace on the following turn. That's kind of the only out, I think. Fade another Aetherize, probably by getting our Soul Guide Lantern going. Do we just let a Johnny take this hit? Yeah, I guess so. I don't think that matters. They could Lightning Helix the Ajani. I don't think it matters that much. We're kind of playing a sub game now where it's like I want to kill them, obviously, but more importantly, I want to hurt them. Obviously, I want to hurt them. And what does that look like? It looks like we have 1,000,000 mana. 1, 2, 3. We get a Prairie on the field. I'm not gonna do that much counting. It's at least 2 Wagons plus a Stelly Reclaimer to bring back a Soul Guide Lantern. Yeah, I can do all of that. Let's go ahead and warp the Stelly Reclaimer here in case they do have a No More Lies. I'm going to assume they cut them maybe, because we haven't seen them in a little while, and they're realizing that it's just like such a bad card against decks with a lot of ramp. Exile the Aetherize. Try to set up a big dumb turn here. 3rd Wagon. Oh, they do have the No More Lies. That's fine. I think 2 Wagons will be sufficient damage. It's just a question of can they hit their Avatar? And they're consulting here. This is a pretty good matchup for them in general, I would guess, because we're not putting that much pressure on them. And we're much more geared to fight against other aggressive decks or other decks that care about the board, you know? Hit him. Do it to me right now. Northwind Avatar, I summon you. Banish my opponent to the Shadow Realm. Awesome. Sweet list. Can't complain. If I'm going to lose, I love to lose to something new. Appreciate it. Fun match. Thank you, Go Kelper. Hope you have a beautiful day. Check out the list while you're here if you want. Nothing to be done. I could scoop it up, but I want to give them the fun animation that happens when you mill an opponent out. All right, 3-1. Still, pretty good run so far. Lost to a very unknown quantity. See if we can get the 4-1. Match 5. On the play. All right, snap keep. No mana problems. Good curve out. Day of Judgment, love to see it. Grab an island here. Ireland. Shock. Esper Origins, no need to be silly. Spell Snare. Yeah, whatever. My hand's goated, doesn't matter. Actually fine. It's actually so fine. You know what I mean? I've got to assume this is the Temur Harmonizer list, by the way, just based on what I'm seeing here. Could be wrong, but if that is the case, they might just be able to womp on me here, game 1. Casts a stock up. I mean, I guess this is a position where it's like, imagine if we just had Harmonizer in our deck, you know? And we got to just do the thing on them. But I have a feeling I will have the thing done upon me here. At the very least, I can pretend I have a Get Lost, maybe. Or some kind of interaction and go for a Johnny over the Esper Origins. Maybe I can trick them, you could say trick them, perhaps, into not going for it. Ice Till. Escape Tunnel. Okay. Ice Till, Escape Tunnel. Draw. Do I have to Day of Judgment this? I kind of think I do. Hit you for 1. Oh, okay. Decides to block. Kill your Ice Till. Get that out of my life. Continue to hold up my fake Get Lost. Okay. Yeah, maybe they just don't have it. I don't know. At the very least, they don't have full bore, probably. Otherwise, I think they would go for it. Do the same thing. These Day of Judgments won't have a whole lot of value across this match otherwise. I think it's fine to use them like this. We are kind of in prime position to get our Esper Origin spell snared. Fires off a Consult. Digging deep. It would be kind of funny to be on just like a sneaky one of No More Lies in the main. I always think about that. It's like, if you're playing Bant, what's the harm in that? You get to maybe like have the like psychological damage factor against your opponent where you do a No More Lies once and they play around it the rest of the game. You know what I mean? Take the Fabled Passage, I suppose. Fire up the wagon. Hitcha. I mean, if they have the Harmonizer thing, it gets trample anyway, so no reason to leave back a Kithkin to block with. They're kind of just taking this. But I could just be dead next turn, too. Another consult. Okay, this is a little bit desperation mode. They're either trying to dig for like a spell snare for protection or the second piece of the combo. 2 consults deep, pretty likely they hit it by now. It's just a question of, do they go for it? And they kind of have to go for it, obviously, right? Do they have the full bore? We scoop to the full bore. And then pack in our get losts for game 2. Everything on the stack here. Yeah, we don't scoop yet. Show me the full bore. Sometimes you can get away with this. Just do this confidently. Pretend you have it. There's the full bore. Okay. On to the next one. Our removal does not line up that well against what they're doing, but we do have flash freezes. We have get losts. We can bring in Soul Guide Lanterns. Let's go down the Seam Rips. Pretty awful in this matchup. Dimensional Exile's okay, but we can go down the Day of Judgments. Do we want the full Soul Guide Lanterns? Probably not. It's something like this, I think. A Johnny's fine. Pinnacle Starcade. Yeah, try it like that. We're pretty much at the... I think this is another relatively bad matchup, to be honest, with the way our removal situation is slanted. Not a whole lot of instant speed interaction. Maybe another reason to be on more flash freezes, because it's kind of just good. This is okay. If they spell snare my Town Greeter, I'm a little sad. Depending. Willow Rush Verge. Well, let's go for the Esper Origins then. I think I'd rather they hit this. You can put a Plains on top. That's nice. Escape Tunnel. Yeah, go for the Ajani. And then we get to hold up instant speed interaction. That's a pretty good spot to be in. Pretty good spot to be in. Ajani does die to Seer, which they do play. Bounces Ajani. Gives me a fish. We're winning. I mean, maybe this is enough, you know? Maybe I just start hitting them with my dumb creatures. At the very least, I think I'm allowed to play Town Greeter. Temple Garden. Play a Town Greeter. I guess I could have played Town Greeter first. I don't know why I went for the shock there. It's a little conspicuous, you could say. But I had Town Greeter on the mind and the finger on the trigger. I think we just flash freeze an Ice Till if I get the opportunity. Seems good to me. Play the Ajani. Hold up the Get Lost. Continue to contribute to the board. And then next turn we get Esper Origins, hold up Get Lost, so on and so forth. So here's the Ajani. Stuff in their graveyard. Analyze the pollen. Cool. Might form Harmonizer. Now it's a question of, do they have Harmonizer plus Full Bore plus Spell Snare once again? And they certainly could. That's kind of one of the strengths of this list, right? Being able to dig for all of the pieces they need to assemble their thing. And one of those pieces necessarily is just like the protection for the thing sometimes. We'll do what we can. They're dead to a Restless Prairie next turn, I suppose. That's what they're kind of pointing at here. Might form Harmonizer. I guess. Oh, I guess we're totally fine. Let's make them go for it. The escape tunnel means we're totally fine. They've spent their land drop. I guess I could just show them the get lost here, but oh, they could have force of will, you know? Nice. All right. Bringing them to game 3 here. Would be a pretty good match win for us. We had the instant speed interaction. That was kind of make or break there. Run it back. Maybe we go down a land, bring in a Johnny on the draw there. It looked pretty good as just a way to accumulate value while we got to hold up instant speed removal. Seems good. Ooh, okay. What do we think, folks? Are we keeping this? It's not great. Dimensional Exile is definitely the worst piece of removal we have. I don't mind the Wagon as a draw if they don't have the combo in hand. But if they have the combo in hand, then we're donezo. Then we're kind of donezo. Let's just go for the Soul Guide Lantern here. Save the Riddler Warp to crew the Wagon. They fetch. I might just cycle this Soul Guide Lantern. Kind of depends. Double Island. Interesting. Thornspire Verge. Stock up. I'm going to tap out for this Wagon. I don't think there's a reason to pretend. You know? I don't subscribe to that. Not in this case, anyway. We'll have the luxury of pretending a little bit next turn. They can't actually go for it here either because they don't have green mana. Serac. Elusive Hunter. Go for a Riddler Warp. Decide what we want to do with our land drop after. Another Wagon. I think I'm just going to jam. Is that crazy? Type 1 in the chat if that's crazy. I'm going to jam, and here's why. They have Spell Snare, and I'm not scared. And I'm not scared. We jam. We jam all day. And this leads to a bigger Wagon attack, essentially, is why I'm doing this. But it's also more of a, I'm sending a message at the same time, you know? There's the psychological damage of it all. Bounce the Wagon. Riddler's bye-bye. Greet death with open arms. Might form Harmonizer. Okay. Yeah. Alright, show me the other piece. I'm tapped out. Yeah, just get comboed, I guess, you know? They didn't really have to do much work for it. Cast one stock up. Sometimes it just falls into your arms. Definitely not a matchup I'm prepared for. As far as my removal suite goes. GG. Nothing I really could have done there. GG. 3-2 overall. A great opening few matches. And then we put up a fight in matches 4 and 5. We went to game 3 in both of them. Just things didn't line up that much. I think maybe more instant speed interaction across the deck is probably the first step. Let's take a look at the list. Being on 4 Day of Judgment in the main and a Pinnacle Star Cage, maybe that's a little heavy. You could maybe go down to Star Cage and like up a Get Lost right off the bat in the main. You could probably also go down 1-dimensional Exile and up a Get Lost in the main, help spread things out that way. Then you get to go down a Get Lost in the side and then up a Flash Freeze just to shore up the mono green matchup a little better, but also those sneaky like Temur Harmonizer lists, that matchup will improve across the board as well. And I'm not sure that the Pinnacle Star Cage is that important when we have the 4 Day of Judgments to begin with, right? I guess you could keep one in the side if you wanted to. Otherwise, I thought the deck looked really good. We won convincingly in several of the matches, very convincingly, and then put up a scrappy fight that didn't quite get there in matches 4 and 5, right? A couple quantities that we were not prepared for, admittedly. But otherwise, the like proactive synergies of this list ran pretty smoothly. Turn 2 Town Greeter into a Stelly Reclaimer reanimating something. I think we maybe got to do that once. There were definitely some spots where Stelly Reclaimer looked not the best in terms of the amount of quantity that we had in our graveyard to reanimate. But that was largely, I think, due to the fact to our post-board setup. Just being on like so many removal pieces, like enchantments and artifacts that are removal pieces up front. And cutting down on those when we go into the more grindy matchups or less matchups where like our seam rips and our dimensional exiles are a little less important. So you could maybe even maybe cut a reclaimer as well. But otherwise, Wagon looked good, Riddler looked pretty good, Ajani looked pretty good every time he was on the board. Everything kind of just ran smoothly. And this baked in like go wide Alpha Strike from downtown way to end the game, like win condition. Played out pretty nicely several occasions as well with Esper Origins, Ajani, and the Restless Prairie. Sideboard seemed fine. Other than the things I said up front about having more instant speed interaction, we definitely have the opportunity to be doing that. Probably could go down a Reclaimer too if you wanted. Otherwise, fun list. Yeah, let me know what you think. I had a fun time playing this one. Might take it for a spin again in the future. Managed to beat Shahar, new highlight for the channel. Let's fucking go. 1 and 2 overall. Get the Shahar counter going. 1 and 2 overall. Sound off in the comments. Got a little redemption. And if you like this video, I'll be posting every day, standard content. Maybe some different stuff here and there, but lately it's just been nonstop standard content. It's what the people want, I think, for the most part. I've come to realize, and I'm a man of the people, you know. So I'm also going to be streaming today, if you're watching this video on release, from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern, and every Friday, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern for the foreseeable future. I think that'll be a fun thing to start. There might be some occasions where I have to miss, but I will let you know otherwise. Anyway, if you're not subscribed, appreciate it if you would subscribe, and you like these videos. Check out some of my old content too. Always, if you'd like, read the description ahead of time if you want to know how the matches go, if you like to be spoiled a little bit before you dive into something. I know it's not always the most fun to click on a video and watch the person lose 5 times in a row, you know what I mean? So I try to be a little obvious about that in the titles, and I always write out the match record and some thoughts in my descriptions as well, along with the deck list. Anywho, appreciate you watching. Hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.